Good day everyone. So today I'm going to discuss about audio-visual media, which is Module 2, Lesson 3. Audio-visual materials are the most complete resources for teachers due to their availability and versatility. It enhances the learning experience of students and teachers. These are particularly important in educational environment, which we can see in the picture some videotapes, recording tapes, and the next picture is in the classroom. Students are well prepared and given equipment such as monitors to enhance their learning. Definition of concepts. Audio materials, tools to convey information through sound. It is the recording, transmission, reception, and reproduction of sound used for communication, information dissemination, and entertainment. Examples are speakers, microphones, and headsets. Visual materials, tools to convey information through sight. Nowadays, videos, films, and TV are not only part of people's daily activities, but they also have become an important part in our education, both inside and outside the classroom. As we see in the picture, students or learners gain more interest and fun by visual materials. Audio-visual materials, a combination of both sight and sound to convey information. Examples: LED, projector, microphone, laptop, TV, speakers, headphones, and etc. Audio refers to sound reproduced by a computer or any device able to play it. Audio is a term used to describe any sound or noise that is within a range the human ear is capable of hearing, just like speaker, headphones, or even our cell phones, which we are able to play music. Video, electronic medium for recording, copying, and broadcasting of moving visual images. Studies have shown that the use of short video clips allows more efficient processing and memory recall. The visual and auditory nature of videos appeals to a wide audience and allows each user to process information in a way that's natural to them. So as we see in the picture, there is a camera which we use in recording videos. Functions of audiovisual materials. First, teaching music literature, science, and documentation activities, teaching language and other content areas, and to foster oral communication. A good oral communication can be more understanding to the student and the teachers. These make the learning more interesting to the student. Next is to motivate interpretation to make use of sketches and broadcasts. Teacher will be able to present the lesson effectively by the use of audiovisual materials. It also improves students' knowledge based on what they see and hear. Types of audiovisual materials. Under audio recordings, these may come in cassettes or CDs. So as we can see in the picture, there are tapes which are commonly used by the teachers before the advancement of technologies. Next is radio broadcast. Transmission of radio programs can be live or tape. Examples are what we see in the pictures. Next is visual media, sources of information in any form of visual presentation. Examples: bulletin boards, a form to display information on a board. It helps in posting announcement where students can easily see it. It also displays students' work. Other example is posters, a form of displaying information using text and pictures. It helps students to be creative by freely create their ideas and imagination of a certain topic. Under audio-visual media, first is motion picture videos. Videos of sound mixed with motion images. It makes the topic more interesting because of the movement on the screen, just like what we see in the picture. Lastly, films. Large sequences of animated scenes and sounds. It has been used for teachers to catch the attention of the student, and after that, the student will create a reflection paper on what they understand or learn. Guidelines for audiovisual materials in learning and teaching. First is images should be as small as possible. The picture should be in appropriate size, must be clear to the sight of the student. Next is always provide alternative content. Next is also check copyright. Teachers must check copyright in order to give credit to the author or the maker of the videos. Next, use MP4 format a size of 640 by 400 and the speed of 500 kbps. Next is provide transcripts for audio and video files. Lastly, save audio files into mono format. Uses of audiovisual materials. First is stimulate interest and emphasize. The video must also be interesting so that the students will also listen and focus on what they see. Next is promote efficiency. Efficiency helps in learning, which is very helpful for students to be able to understand the topic, and because it also helps in audio visuals. Lastly, clarify subject matter topics. With clarification, students will understand more about the topic. Advantages of using audio visuals in teaching. First is provides diverse teaching techniques for learning. It enhances the students in learning different topics. Next is simplify and clarify complex topics. Helps in making effective learning that can be easily understood by the student. Next is allow students to learn at their own pace. Students will become independent in learning by applying what they have learned in the discussion. Next is it can be reused. Lastly, reduce the quantity of asked questions. The more the student understands the topic, the lesser the student asks questions. Disadvantages of using audio visuals in teaching. First is it requires correct use. The teachers must know how to use or operate the devices that is used in teaching. Next is not all concepts can be taught. Example, in mathematics, it can be understood not just by seeing or listening to it, it must be done through step-step process. The solution also can be done in a board. Next, should include only images unfit for boards. Lastly, might not guarantee learning, which we can see in the picture. Mostly gadgets are not used in learning but used in games. Next disadvantages is to prepare it, good pronunciation is needed. Proper pronunciation is very important in order for the listeners to fully understand the topic. Next, it can be difficult to understand for children. In teaching, the process must be discussed, not just the whole concept, for better understanding, especially for the children. Next is a good internet speed is required. Internet is very important nowadays, but having a bad internet signal can be a hindrance in learning. Lastly, the proper equipment is needed. The students must have the devices that is needed in learning because mostly learning is engaged on online classes. Ways to use audio to support learning. First is unit broadcast examples. Weekly updates of teaching materials and current situation. Next is live online discussion between two or more people, just like what we see in the picture. Next is interviews with subject matter experts. These can be used as a core or support for lessons. Example of it is research papers. Next is student-generated recordings, used as part of a learner activity or to record evidences, just like teachers giving assignments or activities for students, and it must be recorded for evidences or for grading. Recordings of public lectures. Those can be repurposed and used for different contexts and subjects. Next is to demonstrate experiments example. Sodium solution plus periodic table. It helps the students to have a guide in performing their science experiments. Next is to exemplify abstract concepts. Example, what's inside a flame, like what we see in the picture. Next is to illustrate 3D models. Next is to demonstrate time passage. Example, awesome HD slinky slow-mo, or what we see in the picture, which is very satisfying for viewers. To demonstrate decision-making process. Example, conflicts in the workplace, sources and solutions. With having the right sources and evidences, the workers will not be able to have conflicts in their workplace, and understanding will be engaged. Next is to summarize, to allow illustrate performances and music. Lastly, to show practical activities, example melting metals, which we can see in the picture below. 3 steps in producing audio visuals. First is planning, the most critical aspect of producing. It requires a purpose why, brainstorming how, and preparation, just like what we see in the picture. Planning is the process of thinking about the activities required to achieve a desired goal. It is the first and foremost activity to achieve desired results. It involves the creation and maintenance of a plan, such as psychological aspects that requires conceptual skills. Production. The shooting or recording stage is what most people consider the production phase of an audio or video project. Production is also a process of combining various material inputs and immaterial inputs in order to make something for consumption. It is the act of creating an output, a good or service which has value and contributes to the utility of individuals. Lastly, publishing. The publishing phase is the final part of producing audio or video for educational purposes and is often referred to as post-production. It also requires editing. Publishing is also the activity of making information, literature, music, software, and other content available to the public for sale or for free. Traditionally, the term refers to the distribution of printed works such as books, newspapers, and magazines. Programs to create, edit, and publish videos. First, to create, Audacity, to record and arrange videos. GarageBand, to record and edit sounds. Windows Media, to record and edit videos. So as we see in the picture below, these are apps or windows to edit videos. Next is to edit. Windows Movie Maker, free use to edit. Virtual DJ, free use to edit sounds and video. QuickTime Pro, video editing software. Examples is what we see in the picture. To publish, use the web access to YouTube, Vimeo, or SlideShare.